Okay, hey guys. All right. I have no idea what was this. Okay, yeah. I hate my showing my other tabs. Some of them are personal here. Okay, let's get into it. I was watching this earlier. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I have never liked any Fox News personality since 2012. When I noticed a major shift. I mean, I noticed one before that, but no thanks. Actually, I disconnected my cable for a while. Um, for almost 10 years. On and off, I'd have it for a couple months, but all depends what I was doing, where I was. I just didn't feel that I needed it. Now, YouTube used to be very free, very open. And you could even pick up episodes of shit that you wanted to watch on YouTube. But that's no longer since Google took it over in 2018 or early 19, one or the other. They just fucked it up, and I post on YouTube. I rarely go there. So Judge Knapp, I always thought he looked like Eddie Munster. I I think that some of I'd say 90% of the people on his shit that he does online right now. I don't understand them. I'm not a Max Blumenthal fan. He is the son of Sidney Blumenthal, who lied and covered for massive crimes of Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. And how anyone could respect his son is beyond me. And the lavishes and wealth and education and healthcare and benefits and shit that he got via the US taxpayer dollar, I could just say, fuck you, Blumenthal, you fucking tries to pretend he's cool by his shit that he presents. No, that's okay. I can go somewhere else to get a better opinion, or I have it myself already. I don't need him to tell me shit. And that's what I'm saying. He gets all these people that eh, they say they're former CIA. Really? Former? Okay. I'm sure the information I'm getting is straight then. I mean, you don't just leave the CIA and then go and present information all over the fucking world via the internet by being former CIA. That's bullshit. I know I'm on fire today. I'm a little fired up and bitchy. Uh, so the news cycles are moving so fast right now that it's like you don't know where to start sometimes, and if you're busy, you can't really get into it. But there are two more than two things I wanted to get into today. But I will start with this one. This dude he's Alistair Crook. He's in Great Britain. Um, he's a diplomat. He is very well read and articulate, and has had such an interesting take. I kind of dig his furniture too. Um, you know, I love that. That's very well. I have an apartment extremely similar to this. I have the exact same radiators, and I have leaded glass in my china cabinets. But nonetheless, okay. I digress. I just kind of like stuff that's offbeat, but I have really weird taste. I don't think people really. Some people appreciate it, but everything I have is an antique anyway. Right now, almost all the accent pieces I have, or I bought them in Europe, or it's like cut crystal candle holders that maybe a patient gave me as a thank you gift or something like that. Anyway, let's get back on track. Here's some things that he says here which are very interesting. So I'm going to play pretty much the whole thing. Well, it's 30 minutes. I may skip over some of it. So let's jump. Yeah, like if there, I might skip over some of it, but he's on X or I think YouTube. I don't, whatever. It looks to me like he's tried to do makeup for the appearance today. God bless you, hon. Just lay off the lipstick next time. All right, let's go.
Accommodating my schedule today. We all in the U.S. and you, people who watch these things, know that Donald Trump is not motivated by a set of values, a set of principles, but rather by his own, as you call it, robust, others call it maniacal sense of self-worth, his own extraordinary ego. Do the Russians understand?
Maybe. In part. I'd say in large part. It's not his ego. It's not so much his. Well, they're tied in, but it's not so much his ego than his personality type. But I believe right now that Trump has severe health problems. I also believe that he's surrounded himself around creepy ass people that are really fucking him up. All right. I'm letting it fly today. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
This, and do they know how to deal with it?
Yes, I'd just like to explain a little bit to the audience what I mean by myth in this case, because I'm really talking about myth as geopolitics, not just myth as myth. This isn't a philosophical account. This is myth as geopolitics. And what I mean by that Trump is to a certain extent become mythic is in two categories. One is his extraordinary ability to dominate the discourse around the world, globally. Who is everyone talking about? Trump. He does this through the force of his personality, he claims. And that's why he does it. And you cannot any longer go on thinking of Trump as just being a standard political figure, a sort of, narcissistic politician of the kind which we see all the time. There is a quality that is different. For one thing, I mean, he has just, everything has been thrown at him. Any normal human being would be laid flat or gone off into retirement. He survives, and he comes back still invigorated.
Well, he operates at a high level, but there are many people that I know that have had a lot of shit thrown at them, including myself, that still have a positive attitude and deal with things somehow in a positive fashion. But let's continue.
And of course, as you just said, I mean, he's in no way mythic in the old sort of sense of the word. He's an elderly, slightly infirm real estate oligarch with lowbrow tastes and an unusually robust ego. But Steve Witkoff has said, who's
lowbrow taste. The gold in the office is so ultra, is so gaudy. It's too, holy shit, like those gold pieces on this fireplace mantle. And it's just looks so, I don't like it. Like aesthetically, I think it looks gaudy. Yeah, lowbrow. Yeah, I suppose.
His long-standing friend has often said that actually, unusually robust ego. But Steve Witkoff has said, who's his long-standing friend, has often said that actually what is special about him, if you like, his magic, is his deep conviction in himself, that it is his dominating, commanding presence alone that is capable of bending people to his will and states to America's interests. Witkoff, incidentally, agrees, concurs with the self-assessment completely. Carl Jung, and this is where I want to introduce myth as geopolitics.
Right here, guys. Listen close.
Carl Jung, the psychiatrist in 1936, pointed out that when you have such signs of such extraordinary power over the collective minds of people, in the interwar era, this came boiling out, he claims, from the realms of myth and archetype. This is the driving force that allowed it to happen. For that era, not this one, but that era, Jung pointed to Wotan, who in myth is a restless wanderer who creates unrest, stirs strife, now here, now there, but works magic.
Right.
Jung thought it piquant to a degree that an ancient god of storm and frenzy, German god of storm and frenzy, the long quiescent Wotan, should come to life in the German youth movement. And we know what that led to.
All right. I really despise the fact that every single conversation has to somehow put forth this Hitlerian crap. I have a real issue with that. Number one, I'm tired of it. But number two, there are many questions to be asked about many things related to that. Especially if you know someone that might have been there at the time, which I do. He died a few years ago, but I'm friends with his son. So I'm just throwing that out there. But England is obsessed with this shit. Europe is obsessed with it. They're obsessed with it.
In the years that followed, his insight.
Ah.
The power of these deep psychic, quasi-forgotten imagery is repeating itself today. It has huge implications.
Is this an instructive comparison? And Jung was talking about Hitler. Is it instructive to compare Hitler's ability to control the masses with Trump?
Well, I can tell you this much. In 2016, that summer, 2015, that summer, after Trump kicked off his campaign in June, I remember I rode my bike like 30 miles, which I just, was a tough workout, but it was good for my thighs and my ass. Well, whatever. And I wanted to see if I could get to a destination and back. I dropped my vehicle off because I was going to get the transmission fixed. So I shoved my bike in back, and I drove it from a pretty decent distance. It was at least 18 miles back. And my legs, and I had to stop off and use the bathroom. I was about a mile and a half from my apartment, and stopped off. I think I had a beer and a glass of water maybe. And people were discussing comparing Obama to Hitler then. So this shit, this is before I was more awake than I am now.
It's not the same, but it is dependent on using mythic imagery and digging deep into the psyche. In that case,
every single department store had a fucking T-shirt with his face on it, and I would call the managers. I'd say, "Hey, I'm expecting clothes here. I pay good money at your store. I shop here once or twice a week." And it was a department store at a mall, a major one, that went in after Gimbel shut, I believe. It was like Bonton or something. It was called Boston Store. And actually, it was headquartered in Milwaukee. It was a huge department store with luxury items. And I said, what is this? I can't buy the cute clothes I normally buy, but it's loaded down with these stupid t-shirts. And the manager said, I know. I don't know what to do. I don't like it either. I have tons of complaints. And this is in the hood. Well, near the suburbs, near upscale homes, but the area I live in is very, very mixed. It's, a half mile here, 5 blocks there. Okay. And at the end of the day, I don't really think that shit really helped the numbers at that place. What can I say? All right, let's continue.
Of the German people in order to create that sort of control. But it's not I'm not suggesting that he is following Hitler in that way at all, but that they using the same way of envisaging it. And I'll explain a bit further. We know that Trump faces huge pressures. We know the Epstein affair, the Western security state narrative of we are winning, they are losing, that creates a dynamic for further war in Ukraine. But we do not understand, and this is where I come back to the present and myth of today. We do not understand perhaps the nature, the actual conditions of Israel's hold, what hold it has over Trump
Right there.
his imagination. A hold that Trump seems impelled to normalize the genocide that is taking place there within the Western sphere.
I mean, this is so serious, you guys.
Imagination. A hold that Trump seems impelled to normalize the genocide that is taking place there within the Western sphere, to make it seem normal, to seem justified. The massacre of women and children taking place before our eyes. Qualms about this are quashed. We are not allowed to complain. We do, in effect, become complicit and indeed accountable for these acts nonetheless, because of their normalization into our societies.
Wow.
Bloodlust in Gaza has been awakened not by Wotan, not by Wotan, but instead by something quite different. Yossi Klein, who was writing in Haaretz, interestingly, only in the Hebrew version.
Okay.
I can't see.
So now we're getting into this. He's talking about the newspaper Haaretz, as we call it here in the U.S. Whenever they want to put out an article that they don't want people like us to read, they put it in Hebrew. And from what I gather, he apparently is reading Hebrew. And this is very important. I want you guys to think about this. I mean, a lot of my followers are worried about, I have all kinds of shit I could post. I've recorded many different videos that I have not put up for fear of being slammed. But I want you to listen to what he says here about this genocide. People are worried about a Cracker Barrel logo. Think about that. A Cracker Barrel logo has triggered more outrage than the death of innocent people I am just sick. We're going to put this back slightly.
But instead by something quite different. Yossi Klein, who was writing in Haaretz, interestingly, only in the Hebrew version. I can't see it in the English language version. It's only in Hebrew. Haaretz says, the old Zionism is over. It's gone. The next...
Let's go over this. The old Zionism is gone. The next...
I can't see it in the English language version. It's only in Hebrew. Haaretz says, the old Zionism is over. It's gone. The next stage is messianic extreme nationalism. He's talking here about Israel, of course, only. The third stage, it's gone. The next stage is messianic extreme nationalism. He's talking
Messianic extreme, did he say light years or nightmares? As far as I'm concerned, both of them. We are entering a very serious phase here. If what, and I believe I agree, if what he says, if his opinion here, or his thoughts seem to be quite vivid on this issue. Let's put it back. Yeah, we're putting it back. We need to listen again.
Language version. It's only in Hebrew. Haaretz.
Typical.
Says, the old Zionism is over. It's gone. The next stage is messianic extreme nationalism. He's talking here about Israel, of course, only. The third stage will be, in his words, barbarism.
Ugh.
Indeed, he says, barbarism is already here. Bloodlust in Gaza has been awakened from the ancient myths in the Torah by precise.
Bloodlust has been awakened by the ancient myths of the Torah. Are you guys okay with this shit? Are you okay with this? I'm not. Because it'll be here within 10 years to 20 years. Oh, there'll be a false flag of some sort, you know.
He's talking here about Israel, of course, only. The third stage will be, in his words, barbarism. Indeed, he says, barbarism is already here.
Oh, yeah.
Bloodlust in Gaza has been awakened from the ancient myths in the Torah by precisely these messianic nationalists.
I was going to.
All right.
This again.
Notice how, as this statement coming from someone who clearly is on another level than Judge Knapp, who wants to hang out with Max Blumenthal. Oh. This is too heady for him. It's not. Judge Knapp doesn't want to lose his YouTube perk. That's why I've never monetized. I'm like, there is no way I want to get near that shit, right? Plus, I don't believe a lot of my followers even fully understand this shit. And as he's really getting deep into philosophy, and he clearly reads Hebrew, at least that's my impression, because Haaretz puts out shit only in Hebrew when they don't want the average goy to read it. I mean, it's time we talk about this stuff. It's time we normalize talking about this, not outlaw it. Such bullshit.
Is already here. Bloodlust in Gaza has been awakened from the ancient myths in the Torah by precisely these messianic nationalists.
I was going to.
This again is.
Yeah, let's cut the bloodlust out from the messianic. Okay.
Is Klein speaking. There, the obligation to annihilate another nation, the Amalek, is mentioned twice.
Do you guys know what the Amalek is?
Klein's words, in their eyes, fear of God is a license to kill.
Fear of God is a license to
going
kill.
to take.
The Amalek are mentioned twice. Let's look it up, my loves. Let's look it up. I'm not looking up Tordal for myself. It's and say that somebody mentioned it on a chat. I know I didn't spell that right. Described in the Hebrew Bible as the enemy of the nation of Israelites. The name Amalek can refer to the descendants of Amalek, the grandson of Esau, or anyone who lived in their territories of Canaan, or North African descendants of Ham, the son of Noah. Oh yeah, they make it okay, but who runs Wikipedia, you know? Okay. Let's continue. It's not good, kids. I couldn't say that. I just hope you caught the pics.
Take you.
Oh yeah, let's get you off of that.
Trump as.
The second he said Amalek, he said, "Fuck this dude. I'm cutting him off. Fuck it."
A self-made myth into the Russians and Alaska.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Trump and bash him. That's so much better than talking about the real truth.
But let's hold that for a minute, since you
I
have mentioned Israel. Senator
I have
Janine Shaheen, a liberal Democrat,
seen this dude look at his notes so intently. He's nervous. He's peeing his pants a little bit, isn't he?
From New Hampshire, and Rahm Emanuel, a Jewish American former chief of staff to President Obama.
Okay, so Rahm Emanuel served 2 tours in the IDF and was a dual citizen. The dual citizenship stuff, even 2 months ago, I could find that has now been scrubbed. I mean, we're in serious times, my followers here. We are in serious times. That has been scrubbed. He was a ballerina. That we can make fun of. His brother owns Endeavor, the talent agency or talent management, if that's what you want to call it, that controls Hollywood. He served 2 tours in the IDF. They say, well, that's now been scrubbed, actually. I just looked it up probably 2 months ago. He was a dual citizen. It was on his Wikipedia. That is no longer on his Wikipedia. But then it is said that he dropped his dual citizenship, but they're not sure, but they think he did. And that was advising Barack Obama for 8 fucking years. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm cool with that.
Obama, former mayor of the city of Chicago, both.
But he doesn't say any. You see how intently he's looking at his notes now? He's like, haven't we all done this? I've got to get this dude off. What he's talking about. The second he said Amalek, he said, fuck this, we got to stop it. Because Judge Napolitano is paid for by people that are of that ilk.
said virtually the same thing this weekend, and it was a sound condemnation of Israeli policy.
Not
We'll
really.
play them
I
both
didn't
for you.
see it
Chris,
that
cut
way.
number 2 and then cut number
I
3.
should shut myself up.
The Israeli Prime Minister's office on Friday had a very harsh.
These people, I can't. He plays CBS Face the Nation. I can't. What does she have her tits showing for? This little old lady.
Statement about the famine designation. They called it, quote, a modern blood libel spreading like wildfire through prejudice.
Like I believe CBS News.
That suggests this is about anti-Jewish hate rather than starvation. How do you make sense of the Israeli defense?
I don't think that's a good defense. The fact is, this is not about anti-Semitism, which I abhor, but the reality is we have people dying because they are systematically being starved to death, because Israel is refusing to allow in the humanitarian aid that people need to keep alive. Not only that, they're getting ready to do another, or they've already started planning another major incursion into Gaza in ways that are going to kill more people. So this is not acceptable. The world needs to speak out.
This is a product of the fact that he was, Prime Minister Netanyahu was told in the early days of the war, you better have a day after plan.
Why is Dana Bash wearing tinted glasses on air? And why is she so ugly? You know, they pump these girls up with chin implants, lip implants, Botox, cheek. They end up looking more like a dude than a lady. Ugh.
And now there is no day after plan, and there's chaos there. And there is an issue as access to food, and there is hunger. There is famine. It's a war zone. Second is, we're coming.
So what Ram is saying is that, yeah, there's hunger and famine because it's a war zone, and we're coming on the Jewish holidays. And why aren't people more respectful of the Jews on the Jewish holidays? That's my takeaway. And I believe Dana Bash is Jewish too.
On the 2-year anniversary, there's also coming on in 30 days from now, Rosh Hashanah. And I think the Israeli government, as they send their delegation to Cairo to negotiate, has to make a decision. Will these young men, mainly men, who are taken hostage, spend the Jewish holiday, the second year?
He's not condemning anything that's going on. He's saying these men need to get out to celebrate the holiday. I think they're being treated really well from what I've seen.
In a row, in a tunnel, or in a temple. Will they be with their captors or be with their community?
In a temple.
And it is incumbent upon the government in Israel.
Meanwhile, in Ukraine, you have the Russian Orthodox Church outlawed. You have the Russian language outlawed. You have the burning of the flag, of the blue and white flag, outlawed in the U.S. You have false flags going all over the damn country. But it's okay if our boys go and die over Easter and shit. That's no problem, man. But we gotta get these boys back for the Jewish holidays to celebrate Amalek.
To choose a temple over a tunnel. The IDF says it, the Israeli public says it, and the parents of these children say it. And
okay, are they children, Ram? Because I look at you and I think a child, I think a ballerina dancer, because he was a ballerina. Okay?
And this is a product, in my view, of a prime minister who refused to make the political strategic decisions in which he has degraded the Hamas, destroyed their capability, but doesn't have a plan for what to do next.
Who created Hamas, Ram? And you were there for 8 years. What the fuck did you do to prevent this shit from happening? Wait, what did you do when you fought 2 tours in the IDF, Ram? That Judge Knapp doesn't find, but now he's searching his notes again, like, I don't know what to do. I've got this interview and this guy's like way over my head.
Does Netanyahu have any interest in making a deal to release the hostages, or is his steadfast goal the utter genocide,
And then he turns it, well, let's listen.
destruction or removal of all Palestinians from the Gaza
Collateral.
Strip, no matter what the public reaction might be.
He just
Well, he
answered the
does, and
question.
he has a positive public reaction within Israel. But I wanted just to say that, we have to, look on this also without a sort of superiority to it. James Hillman, in his book, A Terrible Love of War, attempted to address bloodlust, an impulse so terrible, yet one that ignites a Mars-like fury that bonds men in battle. I felt like a god.
Bloodlust.
In his book, A Terrible Love of War, attempted to address bloodlust, an impulse so terrible, yet one.
What he's talking about is an impulse for bloodlust. So Alistair took it back from doofus Eddie Munster.
That ignites a Mars-like fury that bonds men in battle. I felt like a god, says General Patton in the eponymous film. The general walks the field after a battle, churned earth, burnt tanks, dead men. He takes up a dying officer, kisses him, surveys the havoc and says, I love it. God help me. I do love it so. I love it more than life.
Oh, wow.
So we have to, I'm just saying this to underline more than anything, the power of these sort of myths in creating these lusts for killing and for it. Not justifying it, I'm just explaining that.
What he's saying is they have a bloodlust. They want to complete their mission. Knapp cut him off before he could finish explaining the article that he read in Hebrew. So he went to another philosopher, went to another author to bring up a statement that General Patton said about loving war and loving death and becoming so conditioned to it that the more killing that goes on, the more you seem to love it, which is sort of like a mental illness. I mean, at that point, there's something wrong with you upstairs, right? I mean, or you're going through a mental breakdown or being in that situation.
Simply, societies have found and continue to find meaning in life through war. Israel is doing this somehow to find meaning from its biblical roots, its myths from the biblical in the churned desolation that it is visited in Gaza. But this is a profoundly dangerous impulse that is seizing not only Israel, but is now affecting and turning much of the Middle East to desert. But these dark impulses, psychic impulses, once awakened, easily replicate, because not only have we normalized genocide, but Washington today enthuses over decapitation strikes. Lebanon, Syria, Iran, assassinations find their justification, and model gold exploding pages and cell phones are thought to be a cool gift to give to.
I thought that was just a joke, that a fake golden pager was given to Trump by Netan. Oh my God. Let's listen to it again. This is such serious shit, man.
Only Israel, but is now affecting and turning much of the Middle East to desert. But these dark impulses, psychic impulses, once awakened, easily replicate, because not only have we normalized genocide, but Washington today enthuses over decapitation strikes. Lebanon, Syria, Iran, assassinations find their justification, and model gold exploding pages and cell phones are thought to be a cool gift to give to a president. This is how it spreads. This is how it sort of moves and moves on elsewhere. And there are other deep psychic impulses that seem dangerously close to awakening. One prominent member of Trump's close circle, Peter Thiel, is due to give a series of 4 lectures next month on the role of the catechon as somehow a bulwark against something far worse, the Antichrist. This, no doubt,
Oh
will
my
be
God.
a biblical explanation.
I mean, so they're trying to explain their actions via their Bible, their version of it, their Torah, their. Okay.
Peter Thiel is due to give a series of 4 lectures next month on the role of the catechon as somehow a bulwark against something far worse, the Antichrist. This, no doubt, will be a biblical explanation, but clearly the ancient but still potent image of the Antichrist is now in the air.
Oh my God.
This is what Macron had to say, quote, exactly. Putin has been a constant destabilizing force, he said. Russia has become a threat to many, including us. Now listen to this. It has to eat to survive. So he's a predator. That's Putin. A threat to many, including us. A cannibal at our doorstep. I'm not saying that France will be attacked tomorrow, but Putin, he's a threat to Europeans.
Oh my goodness.
Let's not be naive. Well, there it is. The imagery evoked of the beast at the door, the cannibal needing to eat.
I'm thinking
It's
of
very clear.
I'm thinking of William Butler Yeats. One rough beast slouching
Exactly.
toward Bethlehem. I think I've quoted that properly. You stirred something I had to memorize in high school
nice.
in my brain. But
Thank
back to
you.
what you just said from Macron.
God.
Here's the American version of this. Here's Lindsey Graham last week saying,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I can listen to him for more than like 1 second. So I might have to skip over this.
we must crush Russia. Chris, cut number 4.
Putin fears Trump, and he's been a.
This man is the Antichrist. Maria Bartiromo. Blech. She is gross too. She seems like a. Can I say this? Yeah. Yeah. I mean it to be funny, but she seems like a woman that smells down there. Like she never really takes a decent. She doesn't wash down there.
I think he's been tough. And my advice to President Trump and Marco is if you got to convince Putin that if this war doesn't end justly and honorably with Ukraine making concessions,
I'm going to go back out and find my lover back out. He's waiting for me behind the woodshed.
don't you threaten China with tariffs?
She's just like, oh yeah. You talk, Lindsay, and you go home and you meet your boyfriend later. I can't.
For being the largest purchaser of Russian oil. To Europe, you can do more. If Europe and the United States to prop up his war machine, and I intend to push that.
No.
Seemingly.
Quote you just cited from French President Macron.
Well, you asked me a little earlier, what about the Russian view of all of this? And what I think Putin at Anchorage, seemingly he understood the psychology that.
So here's the deal. Here's something I'd like to say about that. Russia is the largest country in the world. They are not seeking additional territory that has been westernized. They like themselves as they are. However, the West is seeking their territory. I don't know if I can even handle this conversation much longer. So now, because I just can't, because it's just so deep, and I don't even know if you guys have listened. Perhaps we can come back to this. I wanted to go to something that I found today on Jimmy Dore. Follow Jimmy Dore, go to his live chat. If you're someone that has been around a tad, mid to late boomer, that's sarcastic, but knows what the fuck is going on and has been around the block a few times, you'll appreciate it. Hell, I'm thinking of driving down to Chicago just to, I mean, the crime here is bullshit, guys. I mean, someone has been getting in this building, and I am having to carry my gun around, and there are only 12 units here. And there are 4 units on each floor, and they're huge, you know. They're all corner units. The staircase is in the middle. There are 3 different entrances, and somebody keeps getting in here. And I'm finding evidence of that in the laundry room, and I'm freaking out. People are stealing my shit. And by the way, it's the middle of the day that this shit's happening. And I know who keeps leaving the fucking door open intentionally, you know, to either smoke, or they don't shut it all the way, or they like rig it so it doesn't shut all the way. And I don't want to go too crazy because it's frankly a nice apartment. For what I'm paying for it, it is like steel. I got in here at the right time before rent started skyrocketing. It's huge. Well, they do raise the rent like $40 or $50 a year, but whatever. If I left, they'd be able to jack the rent up $500 a month or more. The exact same apartment across the street is $700 a month more. And it does not include water, hot water. You have to pay for garbage pickup. And I'm not here a lot, which would mean on the days I'm not here, if I'm gone for a month up north, I'm still paying for other people's water and garbage pickup and heat and hot water. No, because they take the bill and divide it by usage. So that's okay. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But so I have to put up with a couple of different people that are just really weird. I mean, these people, I know who they are. They are so weird. You know, they are straight out of Wanker County. And they think I'm overreacting. Well, it's not their stuff that's being stolen. It's not their... Oh my God. All right, so let's, this is so much fun. Let's do this. I hope the volume is okay. Let's do it. Full compilation, Trump was born to be a gay man.
Guy, man and woman, man.
I've got to turn this down. I apologize. It's all the way up. Okay. I think...
Man and woman, look at that guy, how handsome he is.
He uses Trump audio and then does body language to it.
I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay. But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros. They came out of there. They said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable." I had to say it. With the other pros, they came out of there.
All
They
right,
said,
this
"Oh
is
my
pretty
man."
funny.
But this guy was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. His man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable." I had to say it. President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? Look at the muscles of this guy. Excuse me. Could you stand up? Look at that guy. You in the beautiful white shirt. Would you? Look at this guy. Holy mackerel. I'm looking at him. I always wanted to look like that. I just didn't want to do the work.
Oh!
You look good. Don't let anyone stop you. You look good. Put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it up louder. We want a little action here.
Drinking a
Turn it up louder.
Elon Musk, do you plan to speak to him on the phone anytime soon?
I haven't really thought about it, actually. I would imagine he wants to speak to me. I would think so. If I were him, I'd want to speak to me, but maybe he was already called. You'd have to ask him whether or not he's already called. But I'd have no problem with it. Well, I don't want to say that, but but I would imagine he'd want to talk to me.
Oh my God!
Did you ever play an instrument?
I played, like, for very short periods of time, the flute. Would you believe
really?
that?
Did you like it?
I had flute lessons. It's the first person that's ever asked me that crazy question.
Oh my God!
I had flute. Can you believe it? I could have been a flutist. We had a lot of choices, putting it on that hill, putting it different places. It's such a beautiful pole, we thought we'd put it near. I mean, it always looks best when it's near a Doral. I put it right near. I have a similar pole. And these are the best poles anywhere in the country, or in the world, actually. They're tapered. They have the nice top. I don't know if you people are aesthetic. They're the fake news. I don't know if I don't know if they're. But it's a very exciting project to me. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. I'm not happy with Iran either. We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? He's a massive guy. This big, powerful guy. This guy he is a monster. A giant of a man. One really large person. I've seen a lot of people over the years. Big people. I have a friend, big guy, one of the biggest in the world. This big, strong friend of mine who weighed like 250 then, which 250 then is big. That's like 310 now, right? And graduating cadet Nick Reedy became the first person from any service academy to win the college home run derby. Wow, that's a big deal. With a record-breaking 55 home runs. Nick, where are you, Nick? Stand up. Get up here, Nick. They gave him such a lousy seat all the way back in the corner. Come on up. Baseball, home run derby. That's something. In all of college baseball. Wow. I want to feel this guy's muscles. It's real. That's real. That's great.
So that's, I think, where we're going to end it. I hope you got something out of this video. Just be careful with what's going on out there. It is very serious. And please don't worry about fucking Cracker Barrel.